FMS Nightingale. Book 12. The Reaper Comes Calling. Chapter 1. The Fracture of Silence. The Federation medical starship, FMS Nightingale, is a massive hospital cruiser equipped for FTL and deep space missions. With advanced facilities and a dedicated crew of specialists, it provides critical medical care and responds swiftly to galactic disasters, offering hope across the stars. Currently, however, the Nightingale and its crew find themselves unexpectedly lost in time, facing new challenges as they seek a way back to their own timeline. The Nightingale sailed through familiar stars, its hull still carrying the faint hum of creation's first breath. Captain Elsa Mantis stood at the viewport, Commander Kelton Towers beside her, their hands loosely intertwined. An unspoken promise neither of them had dared to name until now. For the first time in days, the ship felt still. Then the lights flickered, just once. Barely noticeable. But Elsa felt it, like a cold fingertip brushing the back of her neck. Kelton noticed her stiffen. "Elsa?" She shook her head. "Residual energy, nothing more." But the hum of the engines dipped half a tone lower. The air felt heavier. The stars outside seemed dimmer. Ensign Lawton's voice crackled over comms. "Captain, we're picking up a spatial distortion. It's faint, but strange." Elsa straightened. "Define strange." Lawton hesitated. "It's not a rift, not a wormhole. It's like a shadow of one." Kelton frowned. "A shadow?" Elsa's pulse quickened. "Bring us closer." The Nightingale turned toward the anomaly, an irregular tear in space, pale and translucent, like a crack in frosted glass. No energy signature, no radiation, no sound, just silence. Elsa whispered, "What are you?" The fracture widened and swallowed them whole. The stars vanished. The darkness that replaced them wasn't empty. It shimmered faintly like moonlight trapped behind fog. Shapes drifted in the distance, outlines of planets, silhouettes of nebulae, the faint suggestion of a spiral arm. Jolie Bryce gasped. "Captain, the galaxy is still here, but it's hollow." Elsa stepped forward. "Explain." Jolie magnified the view. The Milky Way stretched before them, pale, translucent, drained of color. Stars flickered like dying embers. Planets appeared as ghostly outlines. Nebulae were faint smears of light. Chief Engineer Tessa Garland whispered, "These aren't real objects. They're echoes." Kelton murmured, "A reflection?" Tessa shook her head. "Not a reflection. A memory." Elsa's voice was quiet. "A galaxy of ghosts." The ship drifted deeper into the spectral expanse. The temperature dropped, the lights dimmed, and a figure appeared on the bridge. He stood at the center of the deck, tall, cloaked, skeletal. His robe was blacker than the void, edges frayed like torn fabric drifting in water. A pair of scythes of shimmering chronal energy rested in each hand, their blades humming with the weight of unmade futures. But it was his eyes that froze the crew in place. Blue, cold, burning, impossible blue. Eyes that saw through flesh, through time, through the soul. Elsa's breath caught. "Identify yourself." The figure tilted his head, studying her with unsettling calm. When he spoke, his voice was soft, almost gentle, but carried the weight of centuries. "I am the Reaper of Lost Timelines." Kelton stepped in front of Elsa without hesitation. "You're not welcome here." The Reaper's gaze shifted to him. "You stand between death and its due, admirable, but futile." Elsa stepped forward. "State your purpose." The Reaper lifted his scythe slightly, not threatening, simply emphasizing the truth of his presence. "You have disrupted the balance." Elsa frowned. How? The Reaper's blue eyes glowed brighter. By saving lives that were meant to end. By altering timelines that were meant to collapse. By defying the ledger of existence. Jolie whispered, Ledger. The Reaper nodded. Every life has a place. Every death has a purpose. Every timeline has a cost. He turned his gaze back to Elsa. You have accrued a debt. Kelton's voice was low, dangerous. What debt? The Reaper's expression did not change. The lives you saved must be paid for. Elsa's jaw tightened. We don't owe you anything. The Reaper stepped closer, silent, weightless, inevitable. You owe me balance. Kelton moved to block him again. You're not taking anyone. The Reaper regarded him with something like pity. I do not take. I collect. Elsa's voice sharpened. Collect what? The Reaper's eyes burned brighter. Your lives. The bridge fell silent. Elsa's heart pounded. Kelton's hand brushed hers, steady, grounding. The Reaper lowered his scythes. You have one chance to restore the balance. One chance to repay what you have stolen from the tapestry of time. Elsa forced her voice to remain steady. And if we refuse? The Reaper's blue eyes flared. Then I will reap the Nightingale, and all aboard her. He vanished. The lights flickered back on. The temperature rose. But the cold in Elsa's chest remained. Kelton turned to her, voice low. Elsa, what do we do? Elsa stared into the pale, ghostly galaxy outside the viewport. We find out what he wants. She swallowed. And we don't let him take anyone. Kelton nodded. Especially not you. Elsa didn't look away. Especially not us. Chapter 2. The Shadows of the Dead. The Nightingale drifted deeper into the pale, translucent galaxy. Every sensor reading contradicted the last. Every star looked like a memory of itself. Every shadow felt like it was watching. Elsa stood at the center of the bridge, posture rigid, eyes fixed on the ghostly spiral arm ahead. Report. Tessa exhaled slowly. Physics is inconsistent. Mass registers, then drops to 0. Light behaves like it's underwater, and time... She stopped. Time isn't behaving at all. Kelton stepped beside Elsa. We're not in our own universe anymore. Elsa nodded. We're in its shadow. The temperature dropped another degree. Jolie shivered. Feels like we're being observed. Elsa didn't answer. She felt it too. The call came from Deck 4. Dr. Arthur Tyrrell's voice was tight. Captain, you need to see this. Elsa and Kelton hurried down the corridor. The lights flickered as they passed, brief, stuttering pulses that made the walls look thinner, almost translucent. They reached the med bay. Tyrrell stood beside a biobed, staring at something that wasn't there. Elsa frowned. What happened? Tyrrell swallowed. I saw someone, a crewman, but not one of ours. Kelton stepped closer. Describe him. Tyrrell's voice dropped. He looked like Chief Written. Elsa froze. Written is gone. He was erased in the last universe. I know, Tyrrell said, but this wasn't him. Not exactly. He was hollow, like a projection, and he didn't look at me. He looked through me. Kelton's jaw tightened. A ghost. Tyrrell nodded. A ghost of someone who never lived. Elsa felt the cold settle deeper. This place is made of echoes, of timelines that didn't survive. Kelton murmured, and they're starting to notice us. Back on the bridge, the lights dimmed again. The Reaper appeared without sound, without warning, standing exactly where he had stood before, as if he had never left. Elsa didn't flinch. You said we disrupted the balance. Explain. The Reaper's blue eyes glowed faintly. Every life you saved in alternate timelines created a debt. Those timelines were meant to collapse. Those souls were meant to end. Kelton stepped forward. We don't answer to you. The Reaper regarded him with calm inevitability. You answer to the laws that bind existence. Elsa's voice sharpened. What do you want from us? The Reaper lifted his scythe slightly. Restoration. Tessa swallowed. Meaning? The Reaper turned his gaze to her. The souls you saved must be returned to the ledger. Elsa stepped between them. We're not sacrificing anyone. The Reaper tilted his head. Then the debt falls to you. Kelton moved instantly, placing himself between Elsa and the Reaper. You're not touching her. The Reaper's eyes flared. You misunderstand. I do not touch. I collect. Elsa's voice was steady. We're not paying your debt. The Reaper's cloak shifted, as if stirred by a wind that didn't exist. Then the galaxy of ghosts will consume you. He vanished. The lights returned, but the cold remained. Jolie's console beeped sharply. Captain, something's approaching. Elsa turned. What is it? Jolie magnified the view. A ship drifted toward them, pale, translucent, identical in shape and silhouette to the Nightingale. Kelton's breath caught. Is that us? Tessa whispered. It's a resonance, a version of the Nightingale from a timeline that never survived. Elsa stared at the ghost ship as it glided silently through the spectral void. Its windows were dark, its hull was cracked, its engines flickered like dying embers. Kelton murmured, What happened to them? Elsa's voice was barely audible. They didn't escape the Reaper. The ghost ship drifted closer. Jolie's voice trembled. Captain, it's phasing through us. The spectral Nightingale passed through their hull like mist, silent, cold, leaving a trail of frost on the consoles. Elsa felt something brush her shoulder. She spun. A figure stood behind her. Her. A ghost, Elsa, pale, hollow, eyes empty, staring through her with a grief that didn't belong to this universe. Kelton grabbed Elsa's arm. Elsa! The ghost. Elsa opened her mouth. No sound came out, only a whisper of cold. Then she vanished. Elsa's heart pounded. Kelton's voice was low, fierce. We're getting out of here. Elsa steadied herself. Not until we understand the rules. Kelton shook his head. Elsa! She met his eyes, fear and resolve intertwined. If we don't understand the Reaper's accounting, we can't beat him. Kelton exhaled slowly. Then we do it together. Elsa nodded. Always. Outside, the ghost galaxy shimmered, and somewhere in the spectral dark, the Reaper watched. Chapter 3. The Soul Echo. The Nightingale drifted through the spectral void, engines humming softly as if afraid to disturb the silence. The ghost galaxy around them shimmered with pale light, stars that weren't stars, planets that weren't planets, memories of a universe that never fully lived. Elsa stood at the viewport, arms folded, jaw tight. Any sign of the Reaper? Tessa shook her head. No energy signature, no mass, no temporal footprint. It's like he only exists when he chooses to. Kelton muttered. Great. A cosmic tax collector who can teleport. Elsa didn't smile. He's not collecting taxes. He's collecting lives. The bridge fell quiet. Then Jolie's console beeped sharply. Captain, something's drifting toward us. Elsa turned. What is it? Jolie magnified the view. A figure floated in the void, slowly, silently, like a person suspended in water. Kelton's breath caught. Is that a body? Tessa's voice dropped. No, it's not physical. The figure drifted closer. It was a woman, pale, translucent, eyes closed, hair drifting as if underwater. Her form flickered, as though she were made of half-remembered light. Elsa's heart stopped. She knew that face. Elsa whispered, "That's Lieutenant Helena Shaw." Kelton frowned. "From the mining collapse on Vega 9? Elsa nodded slowly. "She died in the original timeline, but we saved her in the corrected one." Tessa's eyes widened. "Captain, she's not alive. She's not dead. She's something in between." The soul echo drifted closer, passing through the hull like mist. The temperature dropped, the lights dimmed, and Helena Shaw opened her eyes. They were empty, hollow, not seeing the room, seeing through it. Elsa stepped forward. "Helena?" The soul echo tilted her head as if listening to a sound no one else could hear. Kelton grabbed Elsa's arm. "Elsa, don't—" Elsa shook him off gently. "She's not dangerous." The soul echo's lips moved. A whisper escaped, thin, fragile, like a voice stretched across centuries. "Elsa, you weren't supposed to save me." Elsa froze. Kelton stepped between them. "Back up." The soul echo didn't react to him. She only watched Elsa. "You changed the thread," Helena whispered. "You pulled me out of the collapse. But the collapse still happened. I died. And didn't die." Elsa's voice cracked. "I saved you." "You saved a version of me," the echo said. "But the version that died still echoes, still remembers." Kelton's jaw tightened. "This is the Reaper's doing." The soul echo shook her head slowly. "No. I am what's left when a life is taken from its rightful place." Elsa stepped closer. "Helena, what does the Reaper want?" The soul echo's form flickered violently. Her voice fractured. "Balance." The lights went out. Cold swept through the bridge like a wave. When the lights returned, the Reaper stood behind the soul echo, towering, silent, inevitable. Kelton moved instantly, placing himself between Elsa and the Reaper. The Reaper didn't look at him. He looked at Elsa. "You see now," he said softly. "A life saved out of place becomes a wound in the tapestry of existence." Elsa's voice was steady. "She's not a wound. She's a person." The Reaper tilted his head. "She was a person. Now she is a contradiction." The soul echo flickered again, faster, more violently. Elsa reached out. "Helena!" The Reaper raised a hand. The soul echo froze. "Do not touch her," he said. "She is not yours to hold." Elsa's eyes burned. "What do you want from us?" The Reaper lowered his hand. "The ledger must be balanced. The souls you saved must be returned." Kelton's voice was low, dangerous. "We're not handing anyone over." The Reaper finally looked at him. "You misunderstand? I do not ask for the ones you saved." Elsa frowned. "Then who?" The Reaper's blue eyes glowed brighter. "You." The bridge fell silent. Elsa's breath caught. "Me?" "You altered the ledger," the Reaper said. "You disrupted the weave. You carry the weight of every life you saved. The debt is yours to pay." Kelton stepped forward. "You're not taking her." The Reaper regarded him with something like pity. "Remember, I do not take. I collect." Elsa's voice sharpened. "You're not collecting anything." The Reaper's cloak shifted, as if stirred by a wind that didn't exist. "You have one cycle to decide," he said. "Restore the balance, or be harvested." He vanished. The soul echo collapsed into a ripple of pale light and dissolved. The temperature rose, the light steadied, but the cold in Elsa's chest remained. Kelton turned to her, voice low. Elsa, we're not letting him take you. Elsa stared at the empty space where the soul echo had been. Her voice was barely a whisper. He's not after me. Kelton frowned. What do you mean? Elsa swallowed. He's after the version of me that shouldn't exist. Chapter 4. The Ghost Planet. The Nightingale glided through the spectral void, its running lights dimmed by the pale haze that clung to everything in this plane. The ghost galaxy stretched endlessly around them, familiar shapes rendered hollow, like sketches of a universe that never fully lived. Elsa stood at the center of the bridge, eyes fixed on the faint outline of a planet ahead. Magnify. Lawton zoomed in. A world hung in the void, Earth-sized, Earth-shaped, but drained of color. Its continents were faint smudges, its oceans were pale glass, no clouds, no atmosphere, no motion. Kelton stepped beside Elsa. That's a planet that never existed. Lawton studied her readings. It's not massless, but it's not fully real either. It's like a memory of a world. Elsa's voice was quiet. A ghost planet. The ship drifted closer. The planet didn't rotate. It didn't orbit. It simply hung there, suspended in a universe that had forgotten how to move. Elsa led an away team to the transporter room. Kelton was already there, checking his gear. You're not going alone, he said. Elsa raised an eyebrow. I wasn't planning to. Kelton stepped closer. You're still thinking about what the Reaper said. Elsa didn't deny it. He's after the version of me that shouldn't exist. Kelton's jaw tightened. You exist. That's enough. Elsa held his gaze for a moment longer than she meant to. Let's go. They transported to the surface. The world was silent. A pale city stretched before them, buildings without texture, streets without detail, everything rendered in soft, ghostly outlines. The air felt thin, as if it were only pretending to exist. Jolie whispered, It's like someone drew a city from memory. Tessa scanned the surroundings. No life signs, no energy, no history. This place was never alive. Elsa stepped forward. Then why does it feel like it's watching us? Kelton moved closer to her. Because it is. They turned a corner and froze. A figure stood in the middle of the street, pale, translucent, flickering like a dying hologram. Elsa's breath caught. It was her, a ghost Elsa. This one was older, tired. Eyes hollow, shoulders slumped under a weight she no longer carried. Kelton instinctively stepped in front of Elsa. Stay back. The ghost Elsa didn't react to him. She only watched Elsa with a grief so deep it felt ancient. Elsa stepped forward. Who are you? The ghost, Elsa's voice was thin, stretched across time. I am what you would have become if you had failed. Elsa's heart pounded. Failed what? The ghost. Elsa lifted a trembling hand and pointed upward, toward the pale sky, toward the Reaper. Kelton's voice was low. Elsa, don't get closer. Elsa ignored him. What did he do to you? The ghost Elsa's form flickered violently. He didn't have to do anything. I broke under the weight of the ledger. I tried to save everyone. I tried to fix every thread. And in the end, I lost myself. Elsa swallowed hard. I'm not you. The ghost Elsa's eyes softened. Not yet. Kelton grabbed Elsa's arm. We're leaving. Now. The ghost Elsa reached out, not touching, just reaching. Don't let him take you, she whispered. Don't let him decide who you're allowed to be. Her form dissolved into pale dust. The city fell silent again. The temperature dropped. The shadows lengthened. And the Reaper appeared at the end of the street, tall, cloaked, scythes glowing with cold blue light. Kelton pulled Elsa behind him. "Stay back." The Reaper's voice was soft, almost gentle. "You walk among the shadows of what could have been. They are not warnings. They are inevitabilities." Elsa stepped forward. "You showed me a version of myself that broke. Why?" The Reaper tilted his head. "To remind you that every life you save creates a fracture. Every fracture creates a ghost. And every ghost weakens the weave." Elsa's voice sharpened. "I won't let you take any of my crew." The Reaper's blue eyes glowed brighter. "You misunderstand. I do not seek your crew." Kelton stiffened. "Then who?" The Reaper raised a finger and pointed. "You." Elsa's breath caught. "Why me?" "Because you are the fulcrum," the Reaper said. "The point on which countless timelines pivot. Remove you, and the ledger balances." Kelton stepped between them. "You're not touching her." The Reaper regarded him with something like pity. "You cannot protect her from what she is." Elsa's voice was steady. "What am I?" The Reaper's cloak shifted, as if stirred by a wind that didn't exist. "You are the one who should not exist." He vanished. The city dimmed. The ghost planet trembled. Kelton turned to Elsa, voice low, fierce. "We're getting you out of here." Elsa stared at the empty space where the Reaper had stood. Her voice was barely a whisper. "He's not really after me." Kelton frowned. "Elsa," she swallowed. "He's after the version of me that survived when she shouldn't have." Chapter 5. The Ledger of the Living. The Nightingale drifted through the thinning haze of the ghost galaxy, its hull shedding pale residue like dust shaken from a dream. The spectral stars around them flickered weakly, fading as if the universe itself were exhaling its last memory. Elsa stood at the center of the bridge, watching a ghost Kelton's final particles dissolve into the air. The silence that followed was heavier than any alarm. Kelton stepped beside her, voice low. "Elsa, talk to me." She didn't answer at first. Her eyes were still fixed on the space where the echo had stood. "I watched him die," she whispered. "A version of you, a version I couldn't save." Kelton's expression softened. "But you saved me." Elsa shook her head. "That's the problem. I saved you. I saved Helena. I saved hundreds of people across timelines that weren't meant to survive. And now the ledger wants to balance itself." Tessa's console beeped softly. "Captain, the ghost galaxy is collapsing. The entire plane is destabilizing." Elsa straightened. "Then we're running out of time." The lights dimmed, the temperature dropped, and the Reaper appeared, quietly, as if he had always been standing there. He regarded Elsa with those impossible blue eyes. "You have seen the echoes. You understand the cost." Elsa forced her voice steady. "You said I'm the fulcrum, the one who shouldn't exist. Explain." The Reaper lifted his scythe, not threatening, simply emphasizing the truth of his words. "You survived a moment in which every thread of fate said you should not. Your existence is a fracture. Every life you saved afterward widened it." Elsa's breath caught. "So the debt is mine." "Yes," the Reaper said. "But not yet." Kelton frowned. "What does that mean?" The Reaper lowered his voice. "The ledger does not demand immediate payment. It demands inevitability." Elsa stepped closer. "Give me the terms." The Reaper's cloak shifted like smoke. "One cycle, one turning of the cosmic wheel. When it ends, you will return to me, willingly." Kelton's voice cracked. "She's not agreeing to anything." The Reaper finally looked at him. "You cannot stop what has already been written." Elsa's jaw tightened. "If I refuse?" The Reaper's eyes glowed brighter. "Then the Nightingale will be harvested in your place. The bridge fell silent. Elsa's heart pounded. Kelton whispered, "Elsa, don't." She met his eyes, steady, warm, resolute. "I won't let the crew pay for my existence." The Reaper inclined his head. "Then the ledger is satisfied. The bargain struck for now." The ghost galaxy trembled. The fracture ahead began to collapse. The Reaper stepped backward into the dissolving light. "One cycle, Elsa Mantis. Use it wisely." He vanished. The spectral plane began to fall apart. Tessa shouted, "The fracture is destabilizing. If we don't move now, we'll be trapped here." Elsa snapped into command. "Helm! Full power! Take us through!" The Nightingale surged forward as the ghost galaxy folded in on itself. Pale stars winked out. Ghost worlds crumbled. The spectral haze thinned to nothing. The ship burst through the collapsing fracture. And into real space, stars blazed around them. Warm, alive, real. The crew exhaled as one. Kelton turned to Elsa, voice raw. "You didn't have to agree." Elsa looked out at the living stars. "I did." Kelton stepped closer. "We'll find a way out of this, together." Elsa nodded, but her eyes were distant. "One cycle," she whispered, "whatever that means." The Nightingale drifted forward, engines humming softly. Behind them, the ghost galaxy flickered once and vanished. Elsa closed her eyes. The debt was real. The countdown had begun. Epilogue. The cycle begins. The Nightingale drifted in open space, the last traces of the ghost galaxy fading behind it like a dream dissolving in daylight. Real stars burned ahead, warm, bright, alive. The kind of stars Elsa Mantis had once taken for granted. Now they felt like a gift. She stood alone at the viewport, watching the fracture collapse into nothing. One moment it was a pale wound in the dark. The next it was gone, leaving only the quiet hum of the ship and the faint echo of the Reaper's final words. One cycle. Kelton approached softly, stopping beside her. "We're clear. Sensors show no trace of the spectral plane." Elsa nodded. "Good." Kelton studied her face. "You're thinking about the terms." Elsa didn't deny it. "He didn't demand payment now. That's worse." Kelton stepped closer. "We'll figure out what a cycle means. We'll find a way to break the ledger." Elsa's voice was quiet. "He showed me versions of myself that broke, versions of you that died, versions of us that never existed." Kelton reached for her hand, slowly, giving her every chance to pull away. She didn't. "You're not them," he said, "and we're not done." Elsa exhaled, tension easing from her shoulders. "I don't know how to fight something that decides who should exist." Kelton squeezed her hand. "Then we don't fight him alone." Elsa looked back at the stars, real stars, not echoes. "He said I'm the fulcrum, the one who shouldn't exist." Kelton's voice softened. "You exist. That's all that matters." Elsa swallowed. What if he's right? Kelton moved in front of her, making sure she looked him in the eyes. "Elsa, you're here. This is real. I won't let anything separate us. Our only certain future is together." Her breath caught. "Kelton." He brushed a thumb across her knuckles. "We'll face the ledger together." Elsa held his gaze, steady, warm, grounding. Together. The ghost galaxy flickered once in the distance, like a dying ember. Then it vanished completely. Elsa turned back to the living stars. "Set a course. Anywhere but here." The engines ignited. The Nightingale leapt forward into the bright living dark. And somewhere far behind them, beyond the reach of sensors, beyond the reach of light, the Reaper watched with patient, burning blue eyes. The countdown cycle had begun. The end of Book 12 of the continuing missions of the FMS Nightingale. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Coming next in Book 12, FMS Nightingale, Tomorrow's Children. The future arrives before its time. The Nightingale slips into yet another alternate timeline. One more detour on their long road home. The stars look familiar, but the air feels wrong, charged with a quiet anticipation none of them can name. Then the children appear. Not ghosts, not echoes, not illusions. Real children, laughing, crying, clinging, materializing in corridors, engineering bays, and quiet corners of the ship. Each one instinctively finds a crew member and calls them Mom or Dad. Terrell is followed by a boy with his eyes. Tessa meets a daughter who already knows how to fix a warp coil. Jolie finds twins who refuse to let go of her uniform. And Elsa and Kelton, still navigating the fragile new truth between them, meet a girl with dark hair, bright eyes, and a fearless grin. Andrea, their daughter. She knows them. She trusts them. She loves them instantly, and it breaks them. As the crew bonds with the children they were destined to raise, the Nightingale becomes something it has never been before, a home filled with laughter, tiny footsteps, and futures that feel painfully real. But destiny is a fragile thing. A new rift opens, violent, unstable, the only path forward on their journey home. And the children begin to fade, their time in this timeline unraveling. To step through the rift is to lose them. To stay is to be trapped forever. Elsa must make the call. Kelton stands beside her, Andrea's small hand in his, knowing that every second brings them closer to goodbye. In Book 13, Tomorrow's Children, the crew faces their most intimate heartbreak yet, choosing between the future they want and the mission that defines them. And as the rift widens, Andrea looks up at Elsa with absolute trust and whispers, "It's okay, Mom. I'll find you again." The Nightingale steps into the unknown once more, carrying the memory of the children who should have been, and the hope that one day time will give them back.